Hey guys, it's Just Game World here, and I'm here today to show you how to make all the different patterns in Minecraft on the banners. So this will be coming out in 1.8, so if you're playing on any release before that, it might not work. Well, it's actually any release before 14W30B definitely will not. So as you can see here, we've got the different patterns, a few different patterns. We've got, this is an oxide daisy pattern in the middle. We've got the creeper face, a wither skeleton, skull and crossbones, and then a bricky sort of pattern. And then also we've got all the different colours and whatnot. So by the end of this, I'm going to have shown you how to make all of these. I do recommend staying around to the end because I'll show you how to duplicate banners and that sort of thing, which is actually really important, so you're not wasting loads of time trying to get creeper heads and that sort of thing, which you can just duplicate them once you've made it. So yeah, let's get started with this. And to start with, we're just going to make just a plain banner, just any colour of your choice. I'm going to do yellow just as an example. And what we want to do is we want to place 6 bits of wool and then a stick below it, and that is it for a banner. So it's really easily made, and then after that you just have to whack on what you want. So as you can see, there are 4 different patterns, as I've said: the oxide daisy, creeper head, wither skeleton, skull and crossbones, and the brick pan. So for the wither skeleton, skull and crossbones, you need a wither skeleton head, which you get in the nether by killing a wither skeleton. It's a rare drop though, so it may take a while, which is a more reason why the duplicating is important, especially with the creeper head, because they're even harder to get. And then next of all, if you want the brick sort of pattern, you can place a brick. And then do note any of these patterns, so if you put, say, a red dye here, the bricks would be red. If you put a green dye here, the skull and crossbones would be green. As you notice there, I put red next to the oxtail daisy. There's red with the skull and crossbone, pink with that, and green again there. So as you can see here, this is just an example of it. You put the blue, the cyan dye next to the wither skull, and then you'll get it like that. So here's the oxtail daisy. If you don't know what it looks like, that is what it looks like. You just place it next to the banner and you get that cool kind of flowery pattern, which is really cool. I like it. And then also here we go, here's the creeper head. So you can now get creeper heads, well, all heads actually in the game. They are a little tricky to get, and I will have done, well, a video will be out today, well, the same day this was released, showing you how to get them. Do know it is tricky though, so you do want to save them, which is why it's important to duplicate. Okay, so now we're going to move on to just the patterns, the colours, the plain colours. And do note, any of these colours that I use in the middle, you can use any dye. I just used just a random colour just as an example. So here we go, as you can see, we have just a dot. It is literally just a banner, then a colour dye, and you'll get the dot. And then also after that, we're going to show you how to make every single corner. So if you just want to fill a couple of corners, I would like to note now you can pile up as many patterns as you want. So say like on this one, there's 3 different stripes, there's the middle, and then there's a gradient overlay, so there's 5 different patterns built up on that one, and then on these there's like 4 or 5, and you can do up to, I think, quite a lot onto them. So do note, if you want to have, say, a colour there, a colour in that corner, colour in that corner, colour in that corner, you can, and then you can even have a creeper face over the top. It's up to you, just be creative as you want. So yeah, so if we put the banner in the side here, and then have the dye in the top left corner, it will be in the top left corner. If we have it in the bottom left corner, it will be in the bottom left corner. Have it in the bottom right, the pattern will be in the bottom right, and then again top right, it will be in the top right. Okay, so next what I'm going to show you is how to make the downward pointing arrow. So you need 3 bits of dye, any colour. I just used pink for this example, and you want to make kind of like a downward arrow shape, and then place the banner right at the bottom, and you'll get a pattern like this. And if you're thinking, oh, I like that, but I'd like one pointing up, you can also have one pointing up. You just need to place the dye in a slightly different position, leaving the banner in the same place, but the dye pointing upwards. So next we're going to move on to stripes. As you can see here, we've got a stripe going from the bottom left to the top right, and then the banner at the bottom again, and that will represent it on the flag, well, the banner. And then if you want it from the bottom right to the top left, then you can also do that in the same pattern. So you can also have a cross as well. You make a cross pattern in it, so it's 5 bits of dye, and you'll get a cross like this. But do note, these sideward ones are like 1 pixel bigger. So what you can actually do is, as you can see what I've done here, is I made originally going from left to right, then I crafted it, and then I made the one going from right to left, which then made it was a slightly thicker cross than that. It did cost an extra colour dye, and then I also used it going across again with a different colour, and then it kind of makes it look like a, well, it makes the cross, but it's kind of got a outline, which I personally think is really cool. So it's really easy to do that as well. It just costs more dye, but personally I think it's worth it. So next we're going to move on to the kind of, it's called a saw pattern. and it's quite easy to do. It's the same as kind of the arrow, just the opposite way round. So here you have the flag at the bottom and then an upward pointing arrow, and you'll get this, it's like this downwards saw pattern. And then if you want it the other way, so you want the saw pointing upwards, you have the flag in the middle this time, and then kind of a V shape around it. Okay, so now we're going to move on to sidewards pointing lines. So here we have just a side line. You just have 3 bits of die going across the middle and the banner at the bottom. If you want it going upwards, you have 3 going across the middle and that on the side, and you get kind of this sort of look. And then if you want a diamond, you need 4 bits of die, and you put it around the banner in the middle. And then you can also have thicker lines, well, lines going along the top, sorry, thicker lines along the top with 1 bit. If you want an even thicker line which actually covers half of it, you can place 6 bits of die in the craft, like so. So it's kind of a line of 3, and then the banner at the bottom. And this does cover half. The only bad thing is, well, it's not a bad thing necessarily, but you can't do it the opposite way around. So you can't actually place any colour on the bottom doing this. Well, a full covering the entire half. So this way you want to think about the colour that you originally make the banner with. So if you wanted to use this pattern, think about the colour you want at the bottom and make that the primary colour of the banner, so yellow, red, whatever you want. And then you can also do the smaller one on the bottom, which is exactly the same as that. You need but along the bottom. So with all these banners I make, if you want to make that pattern, copy these crafts that I've done kind of identically, like exactly as they are. Otherwise you may end up getting some issues. Sometimes they will work, but other times they may mess up. So now we're going to go on to a stripy sort of pattern, and as you can see here, this is how you make the stripe pattern. I've just used ink sacks because I wanted black for this example. So what we want is the banner right at the bottom, and then on the both sides, just 2 blocks on both sides, we'll have the dye or whatever it is to make the colour, and then you get that kind of cool like stripy pattern. So here now, if you want to cover on the left, just the left kind of side, you have the banner at the bottom, and then all 3 covering on the left hand side dies. And then if you're on the right, it's exactly the same, just on the right hand side, as you can see. So then if you want one covering exactly half on the left hand side, it's kind of the same as going along the top, but just down the side. So you have 6 bits in the side of the craft and the banner on the right hand side. So then also now we're going to show you how to do this kind of like slash pattern. It is just 3 bits of die in the top left hand corner and then the banner at the bottom. But if you want it the opposite way, like so, you just put it in the right hand corner. So it's quite easy. And then this is the one that personally my favourite. So you have the banner right at the top and then 2 bits next to it with like a line going down. So it's kind of like a Y shape, and this creates a gradient of. So this is personally what I've used, I think, on most of the ones I've made, just because I think it looks really cool, and it kind of makes it look a little bit more, like, gives it a bit more character sort of thing. So yes, that is pretty much all of the patterns. However, as I said earlier, the most important one I think is the duplicate. So as you can see here, what you need is you need to know mainly what you originally made the flag with, so the colour wool. So with this one I originally made it with yellow, so this was actually a yellow bannered a yellow banner, but obviously with the colour, adding all the dyes and stuff, it no longer, you can actually tell. So as you can see here, what you need to do is if you want to duplicate it, so obviously you might find it really hard to get the flower pattern, and obviously you're going to want to have, you don't want to lose that, or it's more important kind of with the creeper heads and the wither heads, because once you've used them you can't keep wasting loads trying to make more banners. So what you want is just add the banner. As you can see, it's got all of the dye added. I don't need to waste any more, I just need to get the original colour banner that I had, and there we go, duplicate it. So, and then it will, as you can see now we have 2 of them. If you want to have a third, you can do exactly, just keep doing as many times as you want. As you can see, you can make literally as many as you want. They stack up to 16, all flags. So yeah, there we go. That's the best way to kind of duplicate. So if you make loads of, you make a creeper skull one, and that is what you want exactly, then you can duplicate as many times as you want to kind of cover your area. I don't know, if you're on a server and you want to just mark flags every once in a while to kind of tell people it's your area, I don't know, then this is definitely the best way to do it, by duplicating. So I would say with these creeper heads, make sure when you do craft them, put them on last. Make sure the pattern's exactly what you want before you put the creeper head on, just because you'll be gutted if you lose it, because it is quite difficult to get the creeper heads now. But I will have a link in the description and also an annotation come up on the screen now, which will show you how to get creeper heads, zombie heads and skeleton heads in Minecraft 1.8. Do note, these aren't out till 1.8, so if you're on a pre-release before 14W30B, or if you're just on 1.7.10 or 1.7 anything, you're not going to be able to use these. So that if you're wondering why, or if you're playing on Minecraft Realms and you can't do this, that will be the reason why, because the release isn't actually out yet. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this, guys, and I hope this helped. If you are confused with anything that I've mentioned today, then please leave a comment in the description or send me a message or a tweet on Twitter, and I'll do my best to get back to you. So thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you next time. Bye.